class, we'll learn how to melt, or the melt effect, in this tutorial. So first thing, go and download this image if you haven't already done so, and then follow along. So double click on the layer so we can continue editing, and then we're going to use a selection tool. I'm going to use Polygon this time. And we're going to roughly go around the edges and select the shoe. So at this point you don't have to be too precise. For my own workflow, I usually do a very rough pass and then I'll refine the selection later, because we're always doing this or working with mass. And because we're working with mass, we can easily go and make edits later on. So, okay, now that we selected, come on, go to this icon below, and we're going to create a mask. Okay, so now that it's done, we notice there's an area here that I didn't select that well. And go down. You can also use the magnetic polygon tool, but personally I don't like using that tool. So now that you selected, make sure white's on, and then we're going to hit delete. Okay, and then same with this area. Okay, and then hit delete. Command or Control D to deselect. Okay, so I think I'm okay. I'll refine a little bit more later on, but I think I'm good with this right now. Okay, I'm going to create a background color. So go to the adjustment, a solid color adjustment. I'm going to try pink. We can easily change that color later on. Maybe we can do yellow since the shoe's a bit yellow. That looks better. Okay, so now we're going to go to melting. Select the image, so this one here, not the mask, and we're going to still use the polygonal lasso, and then we're going to slowly just copy this area. Like so. So Command or Control C to copy, Command Control V to paste. So we created another layer. So this is the melting layer. We name that melting. We're going to go up to Filter, Liquify. And right here, you notice that that's your layer. And then we're going to make sure this here is selected, the warp tool. And I like the brush to be quite big, so when I'm melting, specifically here, it has that big melting layer. Okay, so now we're going to drag down. See if you notice that that's dragged down, and then down. So I'm going to drag everything down just a bit, and then I'm going to create a little bit more. Okay, so that's my first melt. Okay, now I'm going to make the brush a little smaller, and then create a little bit more points, sharper points. Okay, so you notice, so that's your melt. So once you're happy with it, click OK, and there's your melt. Okay, so for this tutorial, I'll say that's fine, but personally, you know, there's certain melt that doesn't look realistic. I would go in and modify that a little bit more, but just to keep the tutorial short, to say you're happy with this. Okay, now we're gonna go and create curves, and make this overall brighter. And put that in a group. So we're going to global. And then this too, oops, this is melting. So if you had a couple layers of melting, which sometimes I do recommend on complicated things, I would also group that and go melting. Okay, so that's a simple tutorial on melting. So try that yourself, refine the process. Again, for this tutorial, I'll stop here. But if I were to do it on my own, I'll continue working on that because I don't like this black area here. I don't like this area here. And this is because when I select the tool, I selected a bit of the shadow. So that's something that you might want to be careful if you don't like that black. Okay.